Why do you have that flag?
What do you mean? You wanna elaborate on that?
I mean, you have the Black Lives Matter flag. Like, why would you have that flag in your room?
Because I believe that Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, of course they put in those words, but obviously there's more to a meaning than just Black Lives Matter. Obviously, it's a whole organization and ideological movement. So,
Yes, and I think I'm politically aligned with that movement. So,
what would you? Okay, so would you say? Um, what would be the policies you agree with, like Black Lives Matter, that they support exactly, like their entire movement?
well, I agree that we need to rally against police brutality and, social
Brutality.
justice.
All right. Um, say that one more time, please. Police
I, be-
brutality and what else?
and I believe that we need to, all come together as the human race to have social justice and equality for everybody.
I see. But don't you think like this is more of a ex- exclusive like black identitarian movement and not necessarily a whole thing about, I guess, because it is a Black Lives Matter. It's only focused on a certain racial group in America.
Right. And I don't think that, I'd say a lot of Republicans in America would think that that, is going against the saying of all lives matter. Like, it's to say that only Black Lives Matter. But I believe that it's really just highlighting that Black lives do matter because in the past, 400 years, they've been put below white lives. So I think that all lives matter, but I don't believe with the movement all lives matter.
I see. What else? So,
So where are you aligned on that? How about
oh,
that?
I'm just against like Black Lives Matter as a whole. I don't even say all lives matter. To be honest, I think that's just too repetitive and just not really efficient way to argue against Black Lives Matter. I would
Okay.
say the net. I would say the benefits of the organization aren't that great versus the negative effects about it. Like the first, we gotta do the organization itself. I would say the leaders themselves use the money for their own interests rather than the interests of black people. And then I would say in 2020, with the amount of violent protests that like destroyed millions of dollars of property, I think billions. I don't even know, but
Well, those Black Lives Matter is peaceful protests. They're not like Antifa. But counterpoint, wouldn't you say that most organizations and the head of those organizations use their that money for their own personal gain, other than the gain of what they're actually, the organization is for? And not to say that that excuses that, but where are you aligned politically on that? I
yeah, I
guess is what
mean,
I'm
yeah, a
asking.
lot of organizations are corrupt and everything.
Yeah.
But I just can't really support a movement that's just obviously really just a black identitarian movement, promoting, of course they're promoting black interests obviously, but with that, with the idea of just promoting a certain racial interest in the country, in a multiracial country, you would say that if one group promotes their own interests, other racial groups want to promote their interests, and they will try to form different organizations on that. And the problem with that is that it will enable like a tribal, like the inner tribalistic nature of like human beings,
I
therefore
guess that's
create
what
more
brews
conflict.
nationalism in some senses.
Wait, what you said?
I guess that's what brews nationalism in some senses.
Wait, what's that? I just heard nationalism.
I think that type of thing that you're talking about is like what creates nationalism. Like, I guess it wouldn't be nationalism, but like a national identity.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I mean, I don't disagree. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I kind of agree with that to an extent because, like, yeah, I think nationalism. I think having a form of. I like the idea of a nation state. Obviously, I think a whole national identity is important for a nation. But I feel like when it comes to the United States now, oh, do we really have at this point, with all these like different racial groups, racial group interests, I feel like the problem with trying to remain a united country is that we just we just have too many different groups of people trying to compete with each other. Don't you think?
I think that the idea of a multi-party system in general is extensively corrupt, and the bureaucracy is ridiculous. And that's why I would consider myself like a Marxist socialist.
No,
And I don't know where you fall on the political spectrum, but
I'm more of
I'm
like a well, I'm not an American nationalist, even though I have the American flag. I'm more of a, I guess, somewhat of a regionalist, localist type person. I think the United States, I feel like each region, there's like different like nations within the United States of different not religious, I mean a bit about it, but ethno-cultural ties within different regions of the country. I feel like have those identities should be maintained because I feel like just the United States itself won't like the system as we know it definitely won't survive for a long time. I think the United States will still exist, but it will be taken to a different form. You know?
I kind of understand what you mean. You strike me as kind of a moderate libertarian type.
Yeah, not really, honestly.
No,
No.
you're more authoritarian.
In some sense, yes. In some sense, yes, but not when it comes to like, because I don't want like a centralized state, but I don't want like the idea of everyone just doing whatever they fucking want.
So, do you believe in like nationalized banks, for example, or nationalized companies, or the free market?
Honestly, probably more of a market type guy, but I'm not I'm not a laissez-faire type person. Like I don't believe like the whole I guess economic laissez-faire sense. Like, I support universal health care, but I'm pretty sure
Okay,
everyone
yeah.
should. But I'm more of a
I mean, I just
just
feel that that's more of a human right than anything.
I don't honestly. I just don't like using rights to be honest as a moral argument. But that's just my thing.
Well, I think with something like healthcare, everybody should have access to
Yeah, I just
socialized
feel like you
medicine.
should just be able to get it, especially if it's like an emergency thing. Like you know how like what I think is completely ridiculous, like the cost of an ambulance being $4,000. You know, that's like
Oh, completely.
that's
I
like
mean,
if you call the police and they
capitalized
charge you.
medicine is morally wrong.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like yeah,
Yeah, just
that's
like
one thing.
we just arrested your husband for abusing you. That's $500.
Yeah, just a, yeah, yeah. I feel like healthcare should just be a public thing,
Yeah,
but
for
of
sure.
course not like for like cosmetic surgery or any of that. But you know,
Oh yeah. No, I agree with that.
but anyways, I would just say my sense on Black Lives Matters. Now, I'm not against like people advocating for their group interests. I'm just saying this, like you were saying, this like like different groups of people system isn't really working.
It might sound kind of corny, I guess, but I guess I just believe that all races are the human race, and obviously they have their own interests and their own culture, and that should be maintained and not
Yeah.
appropriated.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody is all races are human beings. We
Mm-hmm.
all bleed red, type of thing. So
Yeah. But what would you say would be like I guess the solution to like I guess all of the racial division in the United States,
solution.
or like anything that could help it?
I mean, I really haven't thought a whole lot about that just because it seems so far off.
Mm.
But you know what I kind of mean? Like, I mean, just a lot of the ideas of Marxism are really good for like I'm more of a utopian socialist.
Mm-hmm.
So like some people call me like unrealistic, but and it may be unrealistic, but we can dream, can't we?
Yeah,
Like
that's true. That is true, but Yeah. Mm, what else? Just
I just
wondering,
want to
how old
sing
are you?
Kumbaya.
I'm just wondering, because you're actually
Uh,
pretty smart, I would say.
I'm 15 years old.
15. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mm, yeah.
Groomable.
What was I going to say?
You?
Yeah, I look pretty young at 15. I thought you were younger, but I was like,
Yeah, most people think so. How old are you?
I'm 18. I still look younger than 18, but
You
yeah.
you probably look like you're about 16, 17.
Yeah. That's what most people say I am. I think 16. Yeah, I think that's the most common thing. But yeah, how long
You
have
got
you
a
been
nice
like
setup.
how long have you been a Marxist? Just wondering.
Probably not that long. I probably a year ago I probably didn't even know what Marxism was.
Oh, were you
And
like a
I
normal
was
type
like,
liberal before?
I was probably actually the 12-year-old boy Republican type,
Oh,
just because I was ignorant.
yeah. I mean, I just hate mainstream politics. I rather talk to people that are more on the dissident side of the political spectrum, like both the non-mainstream right and the non-mainstream, I guess, left.
I
Even though
totally
there's not
agree with
really
that.
left.
You know what really irks me? Just like the the American Republican Party that just calls everybody a liberal, like
Oh yeah.
even like leftists who do not claim liberalism,
Yeah,
even a
unironically,
little
they're
bit.
like more, I guess, in a way, liberal, more in the classical sense than leftist
Yeah,
are,
no,
which is funny.
and they want to take away our guns. Like communists are for like guns, like,
Hmm.
and they're calling communist liberals, and it's just funny. I don't
But
know.
yeah, I just don't like any of the political parties, the mainstream. Actually, I don't even like any of the political parties. The Libertarian Party is just cringe too.
The Libertarian Party is ass. Like, but like the Libertarian like spectrum is like, you know what I mean? Like, say on like a political compass, like the libertarian, authoritarian, and then
Oh
the
yeah.
conservative, liberal.
Hmm. What else? Anyways, I feel like what I usually get on here is like, I think when it comes to I think, let me go back to the main topic we were talking about, Black Lives Matter. I would say some kind of regional governmental system of like, obviously the obviously our country is comprised of different races and, I guess, ethnic groups, but obviously there's like white Americans, black Americans, Hispanic Americans. I feel like in a way they should have a sense of more autonomous, I guess, regional system. That's why I like the idea of like regional governments within the United States that promote that each one have a cultural ethnic identity. So like,
For sure.
in like you know what the black belt is, right? The southeast of the United States, where
The Southeast, yeah, yeah.
where a good amount of the African American population lives. I would like to see something in like around there, them
You mean
having,
like the Deep South?
yeah, the deep south, but not where the white people live.
Yeah, okay, yeah, like
Yeah,
Alabama, like, but the not
certain
like the
parts
white
of
trash.
Alabama, certain parts of Louisiana, all those. Because I'm not sure if, wait, let me look up something.
No, like where the majority of African Americans
Yeah,
live.
that's what. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like each racial group or ethnic group or whatever you want to call them should have their own like regional governments within the United States. So there be one in the Black Belt, one in the Southwest, Northeast.
Kind of like delegations.
In a way, yeah, but it'd be more of like, because here's the thing: each
And
region in the
would you
United
propose
States.
that they govern themselves equally, or they come together and govern the whole nation, like together, like a multi-party system?
I would say, hmm, I I don't want them to be totally independent, but I still want them to have more independence than how our system already works. You know?
I guess I know what you mean. So you're more of a states' rights type.
Yeah, but not the not the
Ha ha!
Confederate
Team
type.
Confederate! Ha 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 ha! I gotcha. Caught in 4K.
Yeah, but Yeah, I think there should be like a cultural regional government thing, but not just purely on race, but more of a cultural thing. Because white people in the South are different from white people in the Northeast and like the West Coast, obviously.
Oh, 100%.
So yeah, there'd be probably a regional government in the Southwest that would probably be the demographics. The dominant demographic group would probably be Hispanics. One in the Southeast, which is the dominant demographic group, would be African Americans, and then one in the South that's outside the black belt would be like the Appalachian people and the other white Southerners, and then the Northeast
Appalachian homesteaders.
and the Northeast would be obviously the there were just white people in the Northeast, like the besides New York, outside of like New York and that city regional area, it's mostly just like white. Is I don't know what it's usually white progressives up there.
I
That's
mean,
what it
like,
seems like.
northeast and northwest is both like white progressives.
Yeah.
What was your name?
Oh, Alejandro.
Oh, nice to meet you. I'm Ethan.
Oh, nice to meet you, bro. Anything else we should bring up, or you have anything else?
No, I think we've had a nice long conversation.
Yeah,
Joe.
this was nice.
I'm gonna move on and get Skip some more now.
All right, see ya, bro. Nice talking to you.
See ya. You too.
He was actually smarter than I thought. I was gonna troll him at first, and then he came off as being smart, and I'm like, oh shit, I can't do that.
Look, I'll be right back. I need to grab my phone charger.
All right. That was a good convo. I'm surprised. You know, I shouldn't be judgmental about people that look young, because I look young myself, and I had a problem with people taking me seriously because I look like I'm 12. I gotta get rid of that. But yeah, I look like I'm 12 a lot of the times. Yeah, like he's 15, but he looks younger than 15. But I would say he's pretty smart. Like, sure, he's a Marxist and everything, but he's still better than the fucking neocons and neolibs. And like, honestly, like as long as he's not like a social degenerate, I mean, I don't mind like people looking at like class issues, healthcare issues in the lens of Marxism, as long as they're not taking over, which they're not going to take over. But either way, I would say this convo with him was pretty good and pretty interesting. Anyways, next convos, we gotta find people.